Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Scorpio. If Scorpio is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. Okay, let's get started. TT's back there singing a song. Okay, and so our card tonight is the Moon card, which makes sense. It's just past the new moon, and we just had the Lunar New Year yesterday. We are now officially in the year of the dragon. And so let's see what these tea leaves have to say tonight. If you haven't subscribed yet, please think about doing that. It is free to subscribe. And immediately, right? Immediately, we have an A and we have an A. So maybe an A name seems really important. Maybe it's a word that starts with A, but it seems like, yeah, it's really jumping out. It really wants to be seen here. Now, it's interesting because it also looks like it is surrounded by, this one looks kind of like dog. I mean, they look like dogs to me, right? Which is in line with that lunar card for sure. So we have dogs, we have the A, we have what looks like a house here with flowers growing. And this one looks like an X right here. This one's healing. This one's kind of... So I feel like it's almost... Ooh, and we have a skeleton right here. You can see the eyes and the head and kind of a skeleton body. So I feel like... I feel like it's... You're in a place where you feel like you're almost being attacked by those around you. And I feel like it feels so big. This is like, it's like all you're thinking about, or at least one of the biggest things, and maybe why you are watching this reading, right? I feel like it's a sense of anxiety, of kind of some distress. And I feel like it, maybe it was like a disagreement or some kind of little spat that went on, and maybe it was something like over text or in a group chat on social media, and I feel like it seems to me like you feel like you are the one that's kind of catching the blame, or people are like really coming for you. And it feels like it's really, just with this lunar energy, it just feels bigger than it would in the light of day. Okay. I feel like it really is like triggering an aspect of, shame or insecurity, or just feeling kind of like pushed out, right? Like they always like team up and like go for me, and I feel like this is a feeling and I almost can imagine like backing away into your home where you feel safe, into your life, away from this part of your family or friends group or whatever it is, and really just kind of shutting yourself off to all of it because it becomes so much. It's like a loud buzzing noise in your psyche, and it just, it can be so overwhelming. That's what it feels. It just feels overwhelming. And it's like, I feel like you almost kind of think like, why am I even bothered by this anymore? Because it happens. It's been happening throughout my life. I've kind of always been the black sheep. I've always been the one to like, get the short stick, right? And But it doesn't. It never stops kind of hurting. Because you love these people. And yet, it continues to feel this way. So I can imagine you retreating into yourself, retreating into your private life, putting up some walls, and I see that skeleton, and I feel like when I look at that, what it makes me think, and right in front of the skeleton, it looks like there's like a little serpent with its mouth open. And to me, it's kind of like these old things keep coming up. They just can't stay buried. Like, it just keeps happening. And it's not, I feel like it's an old hurt, maybe an old trauma even. And I think this dynamic really brings it out. But I also think it's like this collective thing where it's like, can't we all just grow up and get over this kind of family, toxic communication style, right? And no matter how much work has gone into it or time or, you hope like everybody grows up and they figure out the things that they love in their life, and they have, things to be happy and excited about, and their own problems and issues. And hopefully they will stop picking on me, but they don't. It keeps coming up. And so what do you do? What do you do with that? I think that, I feel like it's really heightened. And part of that has to do with, like, historically, this is just something that keeps happening. I also think that there is an aspect of just underlying anxiety as well that makes things feel much bigger than they maybe are, right? And I'm good at this. I like to hear how people say things. When I text with somebody who isn't very expressive in their texting, I try to read between the lines, and it makes me have anxiety because I hear it always in the worst voice. Even though I know, I'm like, it's probably just they don't text well or whatever. They're not super excited. They're not writing novels like I am in my text messages. And I stew. And then it's like so much work. So I like to call, and I do. I'm like that terrible friend that calls you to have like a really easy conversation. Because I want to know. I want to hear in your voice. I need to take the temperature of the thing. And I feel like this is kind of that energy. I feel like in some ways it's like you keep telling yourself, okay, I'm just not going to think about it because I know I'm making it worse for myself. It seems much bigger and scarier and worse and anxiety ridden and terror in the night, right? In that like kind of lunar night where maybe it wouldn't be so bad if everything was kind of illuminated. We understood all of the moving parts here. But I see you kind of taking some time for yourself, going into kind of maybe a mini hermit mode, kind of focusing on your own stuff. Not very interested in other people's input, right? Ooh, and now we have a dolphin. Look at that. I like when we see the dolphins. Very psychic time. When we have the dolphins, we know there is a heightened sense of psychic activity. So maybe, even with the, I'm saying this is like, you're not blowing it out of proportion, but yeah, it maybe seems a little bit bigger than it is. But also now I'm going to step back. I'm going to, pedal back a little bit. I see the dolphin in it. Maybe you're right. You know, maybe you know, it doesn't take that much. You just know. You know, based on the text, how they've punctuated or not. You know, did they capitalize or not? I can tell when somebody's, you know. They don't have to do all caps. That's with the yelling and all that. But, you know. You're intuitive in that way. And there's a psychic, what's the word? A very potent psychic time here. Okay. Now, let me say, we have this. We have that psychic ability really at a fever pitch here. So let's do the hard thing. Try to cut off the thinking about that stuff. It is a doom spiral over there, okay? Let's take this heightened psychic ability and put it to our creative uses, you know, our enjoyment. Go do something beautiful. Go see something beautiful. Go feel something beautiful. Go to the museum, go to a garden, go to a concert, have a nice meal, go see some comedy or something, laugh. Laugh. Try to laugh at least a couple times a week, if not more. Really laugh. It is so healing. We have to find reasons to enjoy ourselves, even if it's not, you know, puppies and rainbows and bliss and follow your joy and all that stuff, which, listen, I wouldn't say that to a Scorpio anyways. You're not the audience for that. But yeah, finding some things you really enjoy that you can like dork out on, nerd out on. Are you a collector? Go to a show, like a convention, or thrift storing, or, you know, go seeking something that makes you feel, I found this treasure out there. Be an explorer. Go on a big adventure. Every day we tell our daughter, here's our itinerary. We're going on an adventure. At some point in this day, we're going to do something that we've never done before. Something exciting, fantastical. You're going to learn something today, and that is such a blessing. Aren't you so excited about that? Going along with it, she's almost 4. And the way that she experiences the world makes me excited. I get so into the things that we're doing. It has been the ultimate honor and blessing to watch a being emerge into this consciousness that is just, I mean, and all children are like that. And now I know, you know, what it really means to do this kind of interior child work. To go back into those places where we have been ignored or neglected or not listened to or dismissed, abused, mistreated, whatever it is. And it's all relative. It doesn't have to be that it was some big, profound thing. Maybe it was. Maybe it was a terrible childhood event or experience as a child. But maybe it was something small. Or it seemed small, right? But it felt really big to you. I meet a lot of people that tell me, I didn't have a childhood like you. I wasn't abused, or, you know, my parents didn't die, or, you know, whatever it was. But this thing happened to me, and, it really changed me from a young age. My parents worked all the time. I came home and, these are examples. I came home and nobody was home. I had to take care of myself. My parents, worked so hard to provide for myself and my siblings. Things that seem like, okay, well, everybody went through that, so I don't have any right to feel like I was missing something. But it's all relative. If it was hard, if it created some anchor point in your psyche, in your development, in your being, then it means something. So I understand now, watching a child grow up and be so into things, that it's so important for us to go back and really be with our child self, to listen to them, to love them unconditionally, to let them know you matter, you're important, you are so loved, and so, so many things, right? And give those affirmations to self. You're brave, you're intelligent, you're creative, you're so funny. You're good at so many different things, and tell yourself those things. We begin to get back into that space somehow. That place where we can go out on adventures. We can get up in the morning and think, today is going to be a wild day. I'm going to, I'm going to go find something sacred today. It might be a penny on the ground. It might be, a fortune in a cookie. It might be a beautiful statue. It might be a new church, congregation, temple, sacred place, a community that I'll start going to. I mean, it could be anything. But we travel through these corridors. We find a way. We find a way to get back to that awe, that wonder. That little explorer that you have in you still. And this is how, or at least one way, right? It's not the only way. There are a million, infinite ways, right? Probably. But this is one way that we can take that dolphin psychic energy and do something profound with it. There's no limit to the potential. Now, if we put it into worrying about what, Aunt so-and-so said in the group chat, and then everybody got on and, started making little comments, and now here I am sitting in my house worried. It's devolving into another drama starring, you as the scapegoat. The anxiety of that all. It's a prison. So put it down. Just put it down and do something else. All right, let's see. What else do we have? We have a Y right there. We have another A. We have all these. Oh, no, that's the first day. No, it's not. Yeah, it is. Yes, it is. We have a lot of A's. So the A is, it seems important. Another A right there. Ooh, we have the symbol of Saturn right here. Okay, you can see, kind of looks like an H with a little cross on it. Ooh, so this makes more sense maybe why there's that dread. You have that Saturn energy in there heavily. We also have, it looks like a cat and it looks like a dragon put together. So a kitty cat dragon. Now we are in the year of the dragon now. We had the lunar New Year's yesterday. So here we are. This is going to be our year, but we have to make it, right? We have to get into, that place where it's like, I'm just not putting up with this stuff anymore. I am taking all of this energy and I'm putting it into something that is exciting and interesting and lovely and hard and takes a lot of patience and learning things and research and, you know, time and energy and all of that. And I'm putting it into that because I'm tired of this other stuff. It just is a time suck. All of this drama stuff, all the toxic stuff, it is out this year. 2024 is the year of no. None of that. And if you are in the US, we know the election is coming. And I don't talk politics on here. I'm not going to get into all that. But what I can say is the stirrings. The stirrings are there in our communities, in our families, on the internets. So I feel like it's a good time. We're putting our foot down. We're not getting dragged into the messiness of it all. No. We also have this beautiful stag. Okay, we have the most sacred deer, and so it is. And so it is. We have, this is confirmation to me that the divine is meeting you face to face. This is the, in Castaneda's work, he talks about going in, and this is in the mind's eye or kind of an active imagination situation, going into either like the sacred grove, into a beautiful clearing, and you meet face to face with the most sacred deer, the stag, this beautiful, powerful, violent, maybe it's in rut, you know, it's going to charge you. But it comes down to, how do you proceed? Are you going to face it face to face? Are you going to meet it with violence? Are you going to meet it with love? Are you going to try to subdue it with kind words? No, I don't. I'm thinking of a dog, like, hey, baby. But you know what I mean. How are you going to be with this thing, with this beautiful creature? It's terrifying. Are you going to walk away? Are you going to forget you ever saw it? I don't know. How could you? Maybe you could. I don't know. It's a good thought experiment, though. And let's see. What else do we have? Oops. We have Lenor clanking dishes. All right, so now I was gonna say we have another A, but no, here it looks like we have the compass. Okay, and this is like a drafting tool. And it's the one where it has the little pencil on one side and the little sharp stick, metal stick on the other side, and you make a circle with it, right? And so here we are lying our plans. The blueprint for where we shall go. We also have, it looks like a vulture and a heart. The vulture I love. When I see a vulture, I think this is a being who can make something out of nothing. This is a being who survives. This is a being who, gets it done against all odds, right? So when I see the vulture, I think, yeah, that is a strong being right there. This is a person who has been through some things, and they've learned a lot, and they've created wisdom out of it. They have transmuted that knowledge they have gained through hardship, through ordeal, and they have transmuted into wisdom. And I know that doesn't fix everything, right? That doesn't make the loneliness go away, or the hurt, or the feeling of alienation, or being pushed out or abandoned in some ways. But what it does do is that it has taught you that you won't treat people that way. You will treat people better than they treat you. Not because you're weak. It's not a sign of weakness or being, a pushover or a people pleaser or whatever. You do it because you know what it feels like to be treated poorly. Because in your own way, you love people. You love most people, maybe all people. You might be quite a humanist. Maybe a little cynical, but still very human. Now we also have, it looks like a lying dog, and then we have a little bird, and it looks like an easel to me. So I can kind of imagine the muse is strong, visiting your studio, right? I can see you about the work, lost in it, in that flow space. This work is loyal to you because you are loyal to it. And the bird is the muse. You are inspired. And it has so much to do with that psychic energy. We also have a bridge. Okay, so a bridge over the troubled water. Do not get caught up. Don't get caught up in it. Do not engage. Do not engage. Okay, Scorpio, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to look at the divine doors. Behind every door lies adventure, mystery, and inspiration. Let's see what our door looks like tonight. Ooh, I like this one. Looks like it's maybe on a castle. A stranger's grace. Ego fears the sudden danger, but never underestimate the kindness of a loving stranger. There we go. This confirms to me exactly what I was saying. You have turned that understanding of what it is to be treated poorly, transmuted that into a wisdom of how you treat others, that you are a saint in your own life. You are somebody who connects with people deeply because you know what it's like to not be heard, to not be seen, to be dismissed. Well, Scorpio, I do want to tell you I love you, and I love you so much. Not just because Valentine's Day is coming up. I was like, what? I keep forgetting. I like these little hearts that I got. They're really pretty, and I actually just want to have them all the time. I'm like, oh yeah, it's Valentine's Day coming up. I should mention that. So yes, please do something special for yourself. Enjoy yourself. Whatever it is. Big or small, something. And so, if you would be so kind as to like the video, it really does help the channel so much. And if you haven't subscribed, please think about doing that. It is free. It is free to subscribe. And if you'd like to leave a comment, please do. I would love to hear from you. All right. And with that, I will say I love you. Take care of yourself. We'll talk in a few days. Happy Lunar New Year. We are in the dragon. All right. Goodbye.